I was reading it.
It's my turn to ask questions, and you'll be pleased to know I thought of two. So I'll
Oh,
think
wow.
of the third one while we're doing the show.
Well, that's 200% better than usual, so I'm very impressed.
Welcome back to Wood, John. Rather, the votes are in. We've gone back to original recipe. 2 Johns, 1 not John, no added sugar.
I'm full of added sugar.
Original's always got sugar.
No, there's no added sugar. There is sugar, but it's all natural sugar.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes much more sense.
Actually, didn't they not used to use sugar and they used to use cocaine in Coca-Cola?
They may have also used sugar.
Possibly. Maybe
but
they
yes,
did. Maybe
originally Coca-Cola did have Coke in it.
Maybe they didn't mean to use sugar initially, or cocaine, whichever one I was about to say. But like kitchens back in the day, they'd have extra jars. You know, like we've got the herb rack, and then you've got spices, and then you've got coffee, sugar,
jar.
cocaine, opiates. Like maybe we've just, the what's her name off Netflix that's making everyone downsize. Maybe that's how it started. Maybe cocaine used to be one of your 5 a day because it is a plant.
Coca leaves. I've had coca leaves.
And there you have it, folks. John is an addict. This is episode 98, and this whole thing has been an intervention.
I knew it.
Wait, hang on a minute. This is an intervention for John. I thought it was for you.
No, it's always been for John. Because of all the cocaine that he takes.
No, I said coca leaves.
The thing with cocaine is that it smells amazing. That's the problem. There's definitely like the home remedies thing where you have like smelling salts and incense and all stuff like that. We could just rebrand drugs as it, so you have smelling salts is just cocaine, heroin, incense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could do
Rebrand
that.
speed as Red Bull.
Yeah. I don't know.
Not sleep for 4 days.
Shall we dive right in?
Have we forgotten how to do this without Nathan?
Pretty much.
Oh no, the original formula's awful. Nostalgia. Nostalgia's never as good as you think it's going to be.
I swear we were also bigger back in the day.
We were bigger? Oh,
yes,
okay.
I swear my damage has decreased by at least 20%.
Yeah, I remember McFlurries being like the size of a bucket. And I'm not sure if that's just time or because I was smaller, so everything seemed bigger.
Well, I used to have wagon wheels in my lunchbox when I was a kid. And my mum and dad both said to me not that long ago, I swear wagon wheels have got smaller. They've been the same size for the last 40 years, and they say they've got smaller.
Maybe they have.
Although wagon wheels themselves keep claiming they haven't got smaller, but I think it's a big conspiracy.
It's definitely a conspiracy.
I'm not into like throwing the C word round and wearing tinfoil hats, but I absolutely swear blind wagon wheels have decreased in size. And if I go any further with this comment, I will sound like a mental, so I'm going to say
No, it's funny you should say that, because I've been talking to a lot of... I've never been a big person for conspiracy theories. I think, I've worked with flat earthers and known so many different people that have got different views, and that's what makes it such an interesting world to live in. But recently I've decided I'm 100% in on all conspiracy theories, just because, well, the coronavirus thing has just really started to grind my gears. And when I've looked back at... We have a new virus, 2 years, that's going to kill everyone, and then we forget about it. And it always seems to appear roughly around the time that something else is going on. And it always just seems like a big distraction. Maybe it's convenient and the media are the one using it as a distraction, and it just happens to happen. And when there's nothing to distract from, there's other stuff going on. But like everyone's going on about coronavirus now. It's like we had Ebola 2 years ago. We've had SARS. We had MERS, was it?
Zika. Swine flu, bird flu, mad cow disease.
Mad cow disease was the first one I remember. And I'm sure these things always appear around the time that there's stuff going on that actually some people don't want to talk about. I'm not going to say any more because we put this online and I don't want to, have someone kidnap our wives and fiancés. So I'll leave it there. But I'm on to you.
No, carry on. No, carry on, because I could do with a new model.
Well, since we're
They
talking...
don't part ex-wives anymore. Or trade them for camels.
Since we're talking about the coronavirus, would you rather get the coronavirus or spill a Corona beer on your TV, computer and mobile phone?
I would rather get the coronavirus 100%.
You beat me there.
And it's not even because I'm worried about breaking my TV, my phone, and my console, because I've got insurance. It's just the inconvenience of claiming on insurance and paying the excess. From my understanding of the coronavirus, it's similar to everything nowadays that happens, like the election and whatever. There's so much information out there, and it used to be there. This is the information. This is what's true, and whether or not it was, you had no way of disproving it. Now there's so many different information outlets that it's difficult to tell what's true and what's just rhubarb. So
Fake news.
yeah, exactly. And I know this isn't where I get my information from, but you go on Twitter or Facebook, which is where most people get most of the information from, unfortunately, these days, and it's completely split down the middle. We spoke about it when it was coming up with the election and Brexit and everything else, so I don't know what to believe. I see one post and do some research and find out that coronavirus is the most deadly thing that we've ever had to face in the 20th century, 21st century, whatever we're in now. And then I read another post that says, actually, why are we all worried? It's really not that
Staff
bad.
death every day.
Yeah, so I just don't... Let's just say, without throwing anyone under the bus, I know someone that was meant to be going on holiday soon, and the whole group has cancelled their holiday because of the coronavirus thing. And I'm just like, I wouldn't. I've got a friend at work who's planning to emigrate to Japan. He sometimes listens. Hi, Sam. Miss you already. Because it's now my ex-work. But he's planning on emigrating to Japan soon. And they said, oh, you can wait until all of this dies down. And he went, no. Have you seen the price of flights at the moment? He's taking advantage. What did he call it? Reverse immigration or something like that. And I was like, yeah, that's just optimism.
I'll tell you what's really optimistic is having good house insurance, because I've got new for old, and I have a 11-year-old telly. I've got an 8-year-old laptop. My phone's brand new and waterproof, so I don't care. And I know the coronavirus is strong enough to kill people, but I know Corona beers are weak and they are rubbish, and I would not cry about spilling Corona.
Would you like a useless fact?
38% of Americans will not buy Corona beer because of coronavirus. That's the random fact I learned today, and it makes me want to smash my head into a wall even harder.
Well, the two things to do with Corona. The first one is it was the least successful Mexican beer, and they used the last of their budget to export it internationally, and that was their make or break, and everyone went, ooh, it's foreign and fancy, and now it's like just flying up. You know what it's like in the summer. Everyone wants a Corona.
No, all the people I hang around with do not like Corona.
No, okay, but I'm talking about the vast majority. I used to run weddings in the summer, and we had to have so much Corona because that was the summer drink of choice for beer drinkers. And the second one is, everywhere you go to the bar and get a Corona, you go, oh, I need a lime. I need a wedge of lime in it. The original purpose of putting the lime in the top of the Corona was because it was...
out.
Yeah, to keep the mosquitoes and the flies out. It's got nothing to do with the taste. Yeah, no, genuinely. So it was like, oh, I have to have lime in my Corona. No, you're condition trained to believe that. Shut up. Go away.
Exactly. So Corona is as weak as water. That's why hardcore lager drinkers want it in the summer.
Yeah.
Because they need water. They don't need actual beer. So I think I'd be doing the world a favour by pouring copious amounts of Corona all over my electricals to rid the world of Corona. Because I'm assuming I'm not paying for it. I'm not paying to wreck my own stuff. I'm not committing insurance fraud. And anyway, out of the two of us, I think if I got coronavirus, I would probably, no offence to you and your immune system, but I'd probably cope with it slightly better.
I don't get ill, and you have a child, so
Yes.
You getting coronavirus would be worse. That's why I picked it. I'm trying to protect you.
I'd have to self-isolate for 2 weeks, and that would be fantastic.
Can I just interject?
No.
From the statistics in China, 0% of under 10s have died of the coronavirus. 0%.
0%. What about over 10s?
Well,
What about emaciated smokers?
the vast majority of people that die from the coronavirus are either elderly people or people with existing respiratory problems.
There we go. I think smoking would cause a respiratory problem, so I'm afraid I can't take the bullet for you, Matt, and you'll be passing away. I don't have a
respiratory problem.
I will look after Lauren for you, I promise, and I swear, and I will make sure you're cremated with Alphanorth.
No, Alphanorth doesn't get cremated. Alphanorth doesn't get cremated. But also, I'll have you know that my breathing is doing really, really well. As you know, I gave up smoking for a whole...
You said you were going to go for a cigarette between the two episodes we're recording tonight.
I gave up smoking for 30 hours, but then I remembered nobody likes a quitter.
That's not true at all.
I made the stupid mistake of going to work without my tobacco, and because I didn't have the option to have a cigarette, I really wanted a cigarette. So, yeah.
And now you've got coronavirus.
I haven't got... Oh, no, I have got coronavirus. Yeah, exactly. So, coronavirus, chances of me dying, not very high. And now I'm isolated...
For you. Why would you take that from me?
Isolated for 2 weeks with my console, my phone, and my TV that work.
And you're not going to pass probation because
I've just found
you're starting a new job and you're the sick boy. I've got coronavirus.
No one believes you.
No one believes you, mate. You're losing your job, which is really sad. So you become homeless. Just let me pour piss water beer all over my stuff so I can get new stuff and it will be cool.
Well, no, because worst case scenario...
You deny me a 4K telly?
Yeah, I am.
Why do you hate me?
Because I want coronavirus.
Selfish.
I want it.
I also want to point out that if you do it on purpose, your insurance would not cover that.
Only if they had proof that you'd done it on purpose.
If I'm having an all-day party and I could prove that our friend Mikey D came round and got drunk and poured it on her accidentally, then I'll be fine.
As long as the insurance investigators do not listen to this podcast.
Yeah. And why would they? Nobody else does. We could just...
This is purely hypothetical, isn't it?
No.
No, we've told you, when we reach 100 episodes, which is only 3 weeks away, then we're going to have to then move on to the visual platform where we have to live out these scenarios.
Yet again, I want to see John get a tail, because that's twice now he said that he wants a tail.
I want the tongue.
That's a bit personal. I'd talk to your wife if I were you.
No, don't be rude. I'm very, very sorry for that blue comment. You know we don't like to go blue on this podcast.
No, you love going blue, but only when it's in your terms and you're doing it.
I appear to have blew myself. No, I want to be quarantined for 2 weeks. I could survive off 2 weeks' pay, so I'd still have enough money at the end of the month to survive. And I've just found out there's a lot of new computer games coming out at the end of March, beginning of April. And I've just started replaying Final Fantasy VIII, so I have to complete that before they come out. And as somebody who has a full-time job, I do not have the time to do it. So, this is perfect. Also, another interesting thing I found out, which I didn't know actually, and
you could die.
No. Well, yes, but
yeah, exactly.
I could die. There is a higher risk of me driving to work every day than me dying from coronavirus.
Well, you'd have to catch coronavirus first, which you would have guaranteed got, because this hypothetical question states that you would contract it.
Yeah, and what percentage of people that contract it have died?
It makes more sense if you're going to contract it if you happen to be in China. So if you for argument's sake, were in China, you wouldn't have
free holiday, and then I get quarantined for 2 weeks for an extra 2 weeks of holiday.
In a hotel room, which you probably have to pay for, because I know you say that travel insurance is a scam.
No, I always get travel insurance.
Likely story. Last time we got travel insurance, John sorted it out, didn't you, John?
True story.
True story. John likes travel insurance. You like playing fast and loose, I'm pretty sure.
John, do you not remember we had the conversation and I looked it up with you and we ended up getting it for the whole group because we didn't trust everyone to get it individually and then everyone sent the money? If I remember correctly, which I normally do.
It wasn't a part of the conversation, so I don't believe it happened.
That's absolutely fine.
I believe this is a conspiracy.
But so I'd get travel insurance.
Conspiring against me.
I just don't see a downside, really.
You could die.
I'm going to get a new vest printed that says coronavirus, come at me, bro.
You could die.
Yeah, but you could die every day. You can't live your life like that. You can't live your life going, oh, I might die.
I'd rather have beer poured on my phone than contract a virus that I could spread to other people that I may love and appreciate and could possibly
right.
or die myself.
We all went, let's go back a year. Or let's just pretend that next month or in 2 weeks we've got our holiday to Norway planned. So we know that viruses prefer the cold weather, which is why it's not as worrying because we're coming up to spring, so not as bothered. But let's say that we found out that this was happening now and there was a confirmed case somewhere in Norway. Would you still go on the holiday? I would.
Where it was in Norway?
100 miles away. Yeah, I would. 100%.
Okay. I'm going to call it there. I reckon I'm going to go with getting the coronavirus.
Woohoo!
Not because I would actually rather get it than ruin my stuff.
Yeah, but you found your console in a bin.
But because what I'm actually worried about is when the coronavirus mutates again and becomes even more deadly and even more. So it's better to get some immunity early. I mean, hopefully our grandparents or whatever don't get past it because they're the ones at risk. And then I'll get some immunity, and then when it mutates, I'll hopefully maintain that.
Yeah, and they haven't got an immunisation for it yet, which means that you can't go out and get it, which means there's no chance of becoming autistic. So the only way
oh Christ
to build up an immunity is to catch it, because we're all anti-vax, aren't we?
This is the tinfoil hat episode, isn't it? Right, rather than suggestion of the week, can I tell you a quick little story that I read on the internet that made me absolutely cry with laughter? I loved it so much. It was brilliant.
Go on then.
I was just going to say, can we just confirm we're definitely not anti-vax?
No, we're not. God, no. There was a junior doctor in the States working at a health clinic, and he was shadowing a senior doctor. And then the senior doctor says, look, immunising a kid, it's your turn. You know, you can do this. I'll just watch you to make sure you do everything right, because it's more of a paperwork exercise. So he's like, yeah, right, no worries, I'll do that. So this woman comes in with a child, and then she says, oh, I've decided Tyler here is not getting vaccinated because of autism and the conspiracy. And this guy's like, fuck, this isn't what I signed up for. This isn't cool. Tries to tell her about all the health benefits and, you know, not dying of measles when he's 13. This woman was not having it at all. And then this junior doctor goes to the senior doctor and says, look, what do I do? And he goes, don't worry, I've done this before, take notes. So the senior doctor strolls over to this woman, very, very confident, and he says, I can see you're a well-informed woman. And Karen goes, yeah, I am well-informed. I know all about these vaccines and what they do to our kids, and these chemicals. And he's like, yeah, I know. But have you ever thought who's coming up with these truths? They're on the internet. And he says, yeah, China's on the internet. I believe it's a Chinese conspiracy. What they're going to do is they're going to convince us all that vaccinating our kids is a bad idea. So in 20, 30 years' time, when all the clever parents are gone and all the kids are walking around, no vaccinations, living their free, healthy lives, they're going to drop a dirty bomb with smallpox, with measles, with mumps and rubella, and it's going to wipe out a whole generation of adults and their kids, and then China are going to invade. I can see it happening. And this woman went, oh my God! She clung on to this mega conspiracy and got her kid vaccinated that day.
Amazing.
It was a bigger fish. It was a bigger bit of bait to hook onto. So this woman was like, yeah, I can see this. Oh yeah, China, yeah, they're always up to something.
Amazing.
There's a really funny Jim Jeffries bit where he talks about it, and his wife was anti-vax, he was pro-vax, so he just takes his kid and gets the kid vaccinated behind her back, and then all of a sudden the next couple of days the kid's proper just spaced out, and he's going, oh my God, I've given my kid autism, basically hiding the kid from his wife for a few days. Goes back to the doctor and he's like, doctor, I've this has happened, blah 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 blah. And the doctor does all his tests and sits down with Jim and he goes, have you ever been tested for autism? And he's like, what? And it turns out the kid was just dozed out because he'd got all of his jabs done in one day, which they told him not to do, but he was trying to get it done behind his wife's back. And it turns out that Jim Jeffries was on the spectrum and he'd never realised, and he's then gone back and looked at his life and gone, oh yeah, that makes a lot of fucking sense now. But he never found out until he was worried that his son had got it. And it goes on for a good 20 minutes, this whole story, and obviously it's a lot funnier than when I tell it, but it was just quite a funny oh okay. And he's a professional rich comedian who's had a very interesting life. He's had TV shows, so...
And he's got a son called Hank. How cool is that?
Yeah, exactly.
So what you're saying is there's a chance for me yet?
Oh, definitely. But I'm just saying that...
Well, it depends, because if you have a child and have your child vaccinated, you may turn autistic.
Given that if you look at some of the people in the world, and people look at autism like it's this awful, awful thing, it's a whole spectrum. And yes, people have, there's people out there with autism that can't fulfill life like a normal person can. But what's a normal person? There's people out there that got nothing wrong with them and they're cunts. I'd rather be autistic than a cunt.
I'm sitting right here.
No, you know what I mean.
I do, and I don't think any of us have got any issue with anyone that happens to be on the spectrum at any stage or any end of it.
No,
because
not at all.
we are all just people.
Yeah.
We are playing the hands we've been dealt, and we're all trying to do it our best.
Everyone's on the spectrum. It's that simple. Just some more than others, John.
I thought we finished that segment really nicely. There you go, twisting the knife.
I wasn't even going to say it, but then he brought it up himself.
Stop taking the piss out of his inability to read social cues. Next question, please, John.
Okay. Would you rather sell your soul or the soles of your feet?
What?
It's wordplay.
Yeah,
I'd rather sell the soles of my feet into sex.
What?
Yeah, you heard me. I'm gonna pimp out my own feet. Get rich or die trying.
Surely he means that you'd have the soles of your feet removed.
He never said that. He just said sell them. I'm gonna sell them for sex.
Like webcam.
I hear from the knee down porn is like on the way up. I think people are less embarrassed about being foot fetishes, and I've got pretty good feet if I'm honest. So I think someone would pay top dollar to see my feet.
I mean, this is true.
Especially the soles.
Have you ever? Oh dear. Have you ever heard of a vajankle?
Sadly, no, but I think I've seen one. I've seen a picture of it, not knowing what it was called, and it horrified me.
Yeah. So if anyone's curious, just Google a vajankle. So there's definitely a market for it. I will deem you. I don't know how to argue about selling my soul because it depends what I've sold it for.
Magic beans.
Magic beans. I don't really like beans. I know that when we were in high school, secondary school, whatever you want to call it, I don't know if John has still got them, but he used to have pieces of paper that he would get people go, oh, show me your signature, and he'd fold it over, and then at the top it would say, I hereby give my soul to John, and they would sign it, and he had just a drawer full of souls at home, and I remember one person got really, really angry about it because he tricked them out of their soul. I know that I was one of the few people that never fell for it, but that's just because I don't like taking any risks. So I wouldn't give it away for free, my soul that is. It depends what I can sell it for. Is it like the devil appears and goes, I want your soul, what'll it cost? Like Bedazzled.
Isn't that when you stick sequins to your lady parts?
No, that's Bedazzled.
So is the point of this story that you were willing to sell your soul for a vajankle?
No. No, because my soul is worth more than $79.99.
Oh my god, he knows how much it cost.
I was guessing. A prosthetic foot that has a vagina in the ankle probably costs about that.
More than 50, less than 100.
Yeah, definitely.
Ballparking, because Matt knows his index of sexy body parts for sale.
Sexy body parts. But feet are worth more than hips, but not as much as armpits. I would guess. I don't really know.
I would guess as well. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
There needs to be like an asterisk next to this whole episode, doesn't it? Nothing said on this is factual. This is all just guesswork. My best approximation.
Sure it is, Matthew. We believe you.
Yeah, I know. So if the devil appeared... Okay, so John, let's say in school you said, I will buy your soul off you. What would I want? That's the difficult thing.
What are you offering, John?
What? How much?
Or what? Normally when you sell your soul to the devil, it's for like... In Futurama, it was for hands that could play the fiddle really well, was it? Or...
Just non-dumb hands. It was a holophone that Fry was playing.
Oh, yeah, that was it. What if I sold my soul to the devil for the devil's soul? Would I then be the devil?
Or you'd be an emo band.
I'd be in an emo band. They're both good options. I'm always cold. For, like, running Hell. And to be honest, Hell could probably do with the new management. It's been run the same way for a long, long time. I think it's about time for a change in management. So yeah, okay. I would sell my soul to be in charge of Hell.
Okay. What would you sell the soles of your feet for?
He's already said sex.
Sex.
Okay.
No, I'd sell them into a life of sex to get paid.
Okay, money.
Yeah, money.
Yeah,
Folding money.
I think money is probably more useful.
It is, because when you're in Hell, I'm pretty sure you're not going to get the latest release of Final Fantasy.
It's a career for life.
Is fingers crossed one of the developers goes astray, ends up in hell, and then you'd be like, haha, your punishment is to make Final Fantasy VII Remastered all over again. Ha ha ha. And when you're finished, I will confiscate it, and this will be your life forever. And then you'd have to wait, 7-8 years for the guy to make Final Fantasy VII, for then you to play it.
First of all, it would depend on what definition of hell we're talking about. So we'll just go with the good old vanilla Christian hell. And on that note, then yeah, I would get to play it, because all fantasy is considered a sin, because it's magic, and magic is a sin. So
I read a thing from Mormon Parents Monthly, and it said if your children do any of the following, consider getting them exercised, or this lifestyle could lead to hell. And it was Dungeons and Dragons, cyberpunk lifestyles, fidget spinners. It was just loads of fucking shit. It was just awful. Punk music. Too many blue M&Ms.
There's too many things that apparently would make you go to hell that I just think either they're true, at which point I'll see you both there, or they're not. And if they are true, then if I get to take over hell, then surely I get to change the system. I could go do a whole motherfucking good place on this bitch.
Interesting.
Yeah. I think the concept of hell and everything to do with it is so outdated that if it is real, and let's be honest, the only way that you'd be able to sell your soul is to the devil, that
or me,
it needs updating. I think you are the devil. I've seen you play the fiddle.
I think we're giving him way too much credit to say his soul is worth that much. No offense, Matthew, but to just sell your soul to become the new ruler of hell, that's not traditionally how selling your soul works. Because selling your soul works is normally something like the old devil went down to Georgia, Johnny played the fiddle, blah blah blah. Oh, but the devil took his soul and he died at the age of 23. He was the best fiddle player in the world for 6 months and then he died.
Yeah, but that's the whole bedazzled thing. Is you make a wish and then the devil tries to ruin it for you.
Which he always does, because he always outsmarts people, because people are greedy.
And that's the thing, I don't want to be greedy. I'm offering up my entire life to try and update the idea of what hell is. Okay. I wouldn't have time to play Final Fantasy VII. I'd be too busy managing the underworld.
That sounds really boring. I've got to work to exist at the moment, which is a bit shit. When I die, I don't want to have to fucking work anymore.
Yeah, but if you enjoy what you do, you never work a day in your life. And let's be honest, running hell sounds like a top-notch gig.
I think I prefer to have people lick my feet and then pay me loads of money and then not work half the rest of my life.
Well, there we go, John. There is your question. Would you rather have someone lick your feet, or would you rather run hell? Because that's essentially what you're deciding on now.
Yeah.
Work for eternity, or work for 20 minutes a week. But not be able to tell your parents what you do for a living.
Yeah, but 20 minutes a week in a lifespan of, say, 80 years is nothing compared to eternity.
Okay, I'm going to give it to Souls of the Feet.
What?
Because
you heard it here first. John wants his feet licked.
Because...
I'm not going to lie.
Hell's probably not real, so it's not worth selling my soul for.
If hell's not real, then why would it matter if you had a soul? Yeah, why would it matter if you had a soul if there was no hell?
Them's the rules, I'm afraid.
It just sounds to me like John wants his feet licked. John wants a chunky foot job, and there's nothing he can say to change my mind.
Have you ever had your toe sucked?
Me?
Anyone? Either of you two?
I probably have at some point. I've had a long life.
Don't knock it till you've tried it. Next question. Before this place gets filled with awkward silence for any longer.
Would you rather have a carrots for fingers, or carrot for a nose?
Carrot for a nose.
I'll let you have that one.
Carrot for a nose, because the best part about your fingers is the fact that they can bend.
At least I won't get called a snowman. I just wear gloves.
I could trim the carrot down and carve it into a normal nose shape, and then just put on a load of fake tan, and bosh, no one would know.
So on your orange nose, you'd put more fake tan on it to make it even more orange. How does that work?
No, on the rest of it. And in fact, I just say I'm a big advocate for starving children and put a red nose on it and wear that every day. Or to get a career as a clown. That's a better idea.
But the best thing about having a nose is being able to taste food.
Everything would taste like carrot.
Yeah, but the best thing about having opposable digits is that it's easy to eat food.
There are plenty of people that don't have hands that still eat.
Yeah, that's true.
That is
Oh
true.
my god! If I didn't have working hands, I'd never have to do the housework or cook ever fucking again. Yet again, a life of luxury. And if I get hungry, I'm sure my little finger could double up as a snack.
Just like you said,
As long as I don't eat all of it and it will regrow.
There's
I could
ways
sleep
that you
with
can.
my hands in a compost bin.
There's ways that you can eat without food. I'm sure your lovely wife would find ways for you to clean without hands.
I'd be an amazing rabbit catcher.
You also have dogs, and dogs like carrots. So how long before you just don't have any fingers?
This dog does eat carrots, yes. That's true.
Most dogs do eat carrots.
Give her a whole carrot and she runs into the garden like I've given her the best thing in the world.
I mean, either way, if you have a pet that likes eating carrots, you're either going to lose your nose, which is in the middle of your face, or your hand, or your fingers.
And I'm pretty sure if I left my hand in a flower bed, it would regrow eventually.
It would be much easier to get my nose replaced.
Just lie face down in the soil. That sounds like a brilliant plan.
I don't make a lot
snails in your teeth.
I don't make a lot of money, but even if I couldn't afford plastic surgery for rhinoplasty, I'd just get a pair of those glasses with the nose on and just pretend I'm a hipster.
You definitely can't get plastic surgery. That's not how these podcast questions work.
Matt.
You can't cheat your way out of them.
No, that's fine. That's fine then. Then I would just get a pair of those glasses.
What glasses?
Yeah, the glasses with the nose and the moustache attached. Done. And if anybody calls me out on it, if I go to a job interview and says, "Oh, yeah, it would be a Chantenay carrot," if I go for a job interview and they call me out on it, and I just go, "Well, to be honest, I've got a bit of a medical condition," and I take them off, and I've just got a tiny carrot on my face, I'm quite sure it would be no more questions. Let's move on.
I'd get disability living allowance, having a hands. Easy peasy. I'd try. I'd get a part-time job or something, but I don't think there'd be quite as much pressure. Why haven't you worked in the last 3 years? Oh, you can't see me gesture, can you?
No.
Okay. Imagine you can see me gesturing, like you just sort of you roll your hands from inside to out, showing them your palms, like, well, and then you go, oh, you got carrot fingers. Fair enough.
Yeah, very good point.
I could just continually tell people the joke that there's two Matts stood in a field and one turns to the other and says, "Can you smell carrots?"
I feel I've lost this whole argument on that.
Matt wins!
Yeah.
Right, that's it.
That's it. That's the end of the podcast, folks. We've covered a whole range of topics this week.
If you want to support us and hear more jokes like that one, please.
Oh, you're so salty.
Throw us, because it was an awful joke, and I knew as soon as you said it, I was like, "Fuck, it's game over now." It is. The writing is on the wall, and then it happened. It happened just like I imagined it in my head.
You know I love terrible jokes.
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
I mean, I lost to toe licking, so you win some, you lose some.
Yes, fair. You said you were going to sell your soul to the devil, and the devil lives in hell. Hell isn't real because John decided it didn't.
Yeah, which completely diminishes the whole point of having a soul in the first place. But anyway,
and we all know you don't even have one, so.
Yeah, so the point is you're not gonna benefit from selling your soul.
You're also not gonna not benefit because it renders the soul.
Benefit. That's the whole point of the question.
Right. Okay. Well, either way, leave us some feedback. Let us know how you think we're doing. We're coming up to 100th episode. We've got something very special planned.
Do we?
I don't know. I haven't figured it out yet, but now we have to.
God.
We've got a Facebook fan group which no one's joined yet. Thank you very much. We've got.
Wait. Isn't your mum a member?
But no one that we don't know already listens. Oh. We're on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher. They've got a whole list of them. We're on basically everywhere that you could possibly find a podcast. We're on YouTube now. Each episode gets uploaded to YouTube, so it's easy for you to leave us feedback. We just want some feedback. We know there's people listening. We know you're there. I can see you.
I'll tell you what, our listeners, I'll make you a deal. Please could you either leave us feedback or tell a friend about us.
And get them to leave feedback.
Doesn't even have to be a friend. Just tell someone. Just scream it at people in the street.
You could be that person on the bus that screams, would John rather?
But
people on the bus go,
you need to put brackets around the H, because otherwise it doesn't come up, because they didn't think through their name. It's kind of funny sometimes.
But awkward the rest.
Yeah. But just do something for us.
Because we do this for you.
We do it for you. Well, I mean, we do it for ourselves, but there is the outcome is we do it for us. The output is that we make it available online that other people can appreciate it. We can see you listening over there in California. Where was the other place that loads of people listen?
Like Hatfield or somewhere.
Cheshire.
No, there was another state in the States.
Well, there's San Jose in California. Or St. Louis. St. Louis? That rings a bell.
Let's not list all the places that listen to us again.
No, we've done that before. Oregon. Boardman in Oregon. That's where nearly 500 people listen to us or have listened to us. It is our biggest listener base is in Boardman, Oregon.
Thank you, Oregon.
Thank you, Oregon. Spread the word. Just shout it on the bus. I hope all our listeners aren't homeless people, and so Boardman's going to have an epidemic of homeless people just screaming "Would John rather" on the bus, and we make the news. Actually, I hope that does happen, because then we'd be on the news. That's the best kind of advertising. We should sponsor coronavirus. No? Can you sponsor a virus?
I think the phrase is not ethically.
But it can be done.
I assumed that coronavirus was sponsored by Corona.
That's probably why the Americans aren't drinking Corona anymore. Well, John, look into it for us. Maybe that's just in America. We could sponsor it in Europe. Are we still technically in Europe?
I mean, technically we're part of the European continent.
Well, you know what I mean, the EU.
No, we're not part of the EU.
Okay, that's interesting, because I just had to do a GDPR course for work, and GDPR only affects countries that are in the EU.
We still follow EU law, at least until December.
At least until December. Okay, so it was worth doing. That's fine. Well, we've waffled on long enough. These two have been John. I've not been. Keep safe. Oh, and that was the thing I was going to say earlier. I learned that face masks, suggestion of the week, is...
Save it for next week.
If you're not ill, don't wear a face mask. No, if you're not ill, a face mask is meant to keep the germs in, not keep the germs out. I just learnt that. See you next week, team.
Well done.